Move it, move it, move it, hey, move it, 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 move it. It's Moon Man on the mic. Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your man's once again, Moon Man on the mic, Saturday edition podcast. Yo, check it out. I want to start off this podcast quickly just by saying that I appreciate everyone who listens to the podcast. I appreciate everyone who subscribes. I appreciate everyone who even checks out even a little piece, a little bit of what I got to preach. You understand what I'm saying? I appreciate all of y'all. Let's get into some Saturday situations. We got some Offset situation. We got some Migos. Rest in peace to 1/3 of the Migos right there. You know what I'm saying? Take off. We got some other situations we about to just get into. All right, so we're about to get into it and get after it. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing I do want to bring up on this podcast Saturday special edition, I want to bring up something of importance. You see, and everything I'm saying is important, but check this out right here. The state of the world. Right, and I'm just gonna touch base on this real quick before we get into the other topics. I just gotta touch bases on this. All right, I'm in Florida. I moved down here to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Taking advantage of the advantages to be taken in Miami, right? You know what I'm saying? One of the capitals of the world. You know, $1 trillion a year city. You know what I mean? And I want to give everyone a perspective real quick. Check this out. DeSantis, right? He's the governor here down here in Miami, Florida, right? Or in Florida in general, right? Listen, the man's got enemies, right? Now, I remain unbiased. You see what I'm saying? I remain unbiased for the sake of the podcast. Check this out. The man's got enemies, right? Trump's got enemies, right? Everyone who's running for the most important chair on the planet has some enemies. Some more than others, some less than others. The reason why I bring this up is there is, I do feel, a shift in perspective and a shift in class all around the nation, right? And I can feel this a lot in Florida, you know, which is interesting enough. You know what I mean? And of course it can be felt everywhere, but in Florida, in a very particular kind of way, because there's culture clashes down here. There's culture clashes. There's class clashes, you know what I mean? There's a variety of clashes. So there's certain things that are highlighted in color. The racism is highlighted in a particular color. Prejudice is highlighted in a particular color down here in Florida. You see what I'm saying? Just like in Minnesota, prejudice and racism is highlighted in a particular kind of color. You see what I'm saying? And I bring all this up because, you know, you have the shift in the hierarchy of the world. We are on the cusp of the greatest transfer of wealth that the world has ever seen. You see what I'm saying? The next 3 generations that are coming up are far more younger than the last 3 generations, you know what I mean, that are heading out. You see what I'm saying? And for the generations that are caught in the middle, like my generation, Generation Y, you know what I mean, and other generations that are kind of caught in the middle, I do think that we have a extreme importance on where we should be examples of the next generations that are coming up, and where we should be pearls of wisdom for the 3 generations that are moving out. Mind you, a lot of the generations before us even didn't teach us much. You know what I mean? Didn't teach us much. Maybe they didn't know enough. Technology moved faster than they could keep up. You know what I mean? And even in my generation, technology is moving faster than some other people that can keep up. You know what I mean? Others, they're more advanced. Others are ahead of the game. You know what I mean? And my thing is, between the clashes, the culture clash, the race classes, the royalty and wealth clashes that are going to be moving from one generation to the next, we have a very serious obligation to really highlight the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have learned through our experiences, people. And this is the main thing that I wanted to get across on this particular Saturday edition podcast, is that if we drop the ball on this particular occasion, ladies and gentlemen, if we drop this ball, you know what I mean? I'm not quite sure if the ball is going to get picked back up by the next generation, because it's going to get to the point where, okay, if the generations before us keeps dropping these balls, and they're supposed to be teaching us financial literacy, financial stability, they're supposed to be teaching us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding based off the experiences of what they went through, this, that, and the third. Affirmative action has been struck down, this, that, and the third. Dr. Martin Luther King is turning around in his grave, this, that, and the third. What does it matter about the ancestors? What does it matter about the generations ahead of us? We're just going to get it now. We have no light to look up. There is no hope, and we're just going to move forward. See, that is some of the mindsets of that's bowling around within the generations. And to me, I've heard of it, I've seen it. That's concerning, because it gives a testament to, or the lack of testament, or really a testament to the lack that we've been giving the generations before us. Just lacking. You know what I mean? And we got to stop lacking. You know what I mean? We got to stop lacking. We got to get to it, because if we don't, the next 3 generations that are coming up, you see what I'm saying? They may not be prepared for the emotional levels and the emotional intelligence that it's going to take to navigate some of the most terrible things that could potentially be disasters coming in the next 30 years. Okay? Mind you, AI. Okay, mind you, certain countries are gearing up for certain kinds of scrimmages, and then we're not necessarily talking about war. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about a technology boom. We're talking about technology monopoly. All right, you know what I mean? Japan's gearing up. You know what I mean? A couple other countries are mulling the idea of monopolizing on tech. You know what I mean? So we want to keep all that in mind, all right? So, again, this is what it is. By all means, heed the call, and we're moving on. So, I want to get into some Migos news. Listen, they performed at the BET Awards, which was super dope. You know what I mean? Offset reveals BET Awards performance with Quavo was put together in 16 hours. This was posted by Caroline Fisher. Offset discussed his recent performance with Quavo at the 2023 BET Awards. During a recent Instagram Live, Offset shared details of his performance alongside Quavo at the 2023 BET Awards. He called the show iconic, going on to reveal that it only took a total of 16 hours. I mean, that's amazing. An entire show, a BET level performance. Okay, I know that it takes a couple days sometimes to do an open mic if you really care about it. I mean, it kind of really depends on the experience. But wow, 16 hours for a high level BET performance. Moving on, the artist also explained that they did the performance for Takeoff, the late Migos member who passed away in 2022. We're the greatest group ever to touch the mic, Offset says. Rest in peace to my brother Takeoff. Me and Quavo stood tall, he explained. Thank all the fans for the support. It was a movie, Offset continues. It was a vibe. We needed that for the culture. The surprise performance stunned their fans and peers alike. T.I. weighed in backstage, calling the show a goddamn monumental. Okay, he went on to say it's something that they're going to be talking about for 10 years from now. It was the duo's first time performing since Takeoff's death. The show featured the pyrotechnics and massive projections of their late Migos collaborator behind them. Let me tell you, if I would have seen that show, that would have been amazing too, right? And again, shout out, rest in peace, rest in power to Takeoff. And I love the fact that they got on stage and that they put behind whatever it was that they had going on. All of that was a bunch of pain because of everything that went on with Takeoff, how it went on. You know what I mean? I mean, if there are any regrets, if there is any setbacks, that's going to be felt for years to come too, for the rest of their lives. This is going to be something that we all have to walk with. You know what I mean? And the Migos were dope. I mean, mind you, all 3 black men, you know what I mean, from the South. I mean, straight up. And to be honest with you, their potential wasn't even scratching the surface. They didn't even scratch the surface, all right? I personally think they could have been 10 times that of the Beatles. You see what I'm saying? They could have been 10 times that of Outkast, whoops. They could have been 10 times that of Wu-Tang Clan, whoops. I'm just saying, shout out to Outkast and shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean? Outkast has just been named the greatest rap group of all time. Okay, you know what I mean? Again, that's up to debate. You can argue that. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to argue with you. You see what I'm saying? Every group, rap black group that did they thing. My personal favorite group is Wu-Tang. That's just me. Again, that's up for the debate, and I'm not going to argue with you. I love them all, right? But all I'm saying is the Migos, they didn't even scratch the surface. Okay, a lot of the groups, they scratched the surface, dug deep, dug portals into different dimensions, which is the reason why they are the great. The Migos, they didn't even scratch the surface and managed to take over the world by storm. So imagine what could have happened had certain choices could have been made, certain opportunities could have been grasped and taken. You know what I mean? I felt like, it got away from them a little bit, when they really hit the big time, when they really hit that wave. I felt like it got away from them a little bit, you know what I mean? And man, you know what I mean? Like, there was so much more that could have been that could have been revealed, so much more music, so much more art and creativity of expression that could have been, tapped into the zeitgeist, you know what I mean? But again, the performance was great. I love the idea of them performing. Wish I could have seen it firsthand. I am gonna put that on my bucket list. We're moving on. All right, so speaking of Offset, I had to clear my throat a little bit. Now speaking of Offset, you got Offset over here. So if y'all haven't heard throughout the weekend, Offset had recently posted a now deleted tweet suggesting that Cardi B had cheated on him with anybody else, right? And he posted a little post about it. If you never heard about it, you can look it up. It's pretty easy to see. And Cardi B had responded to that with some derogatory statements and phrases. You know what I mean? She basically saying like, who am I really gonna mess with? I can't mess with anybody in the industry. They gonna tell. I can't mess with no regular schmegular, megular, degular. They gonna tell. I can't mess with this. I can't mess with that because they gonna tell. What do you mean? And never mind that, she ain't on that anyway, quote unquote. I mean, this is just what she is suggesting. That's the place that she been. So Offset blasts people who photoshopped pictures of Cardi B as a meme. Alright, the rapper didn't appreciate people making fun of his "I miss my granny" post. You see what I'm saying? And this right here comes like off the rails of what I just mentioned. It's rare to see Offset go back and forth with fans online the same way his flame Cardi B does. That being said, when it comes to recent photoshops of one of her Instagram posts, the Georgia rapper is done playing games with the fans. Moreover, the Photoshop in question is a picture of Cardi sitting down, looking off into the distance. And the edited part itself is the caption. Instead of "I need a tan," it reads "I miss my granny." Of course, this is a reference to Set's IG post where that was the caption, which he published right after he got caught cheating on Cardi B, and then had a brief split. Okay, so this is why I said that in the beginning. You see what I'm saying? Some fans are perpetuating the idea of cheating between these two, and that's not even cool, man. You know what I mean? And of course, it's the internet. Of course, it's unforgiving. Of course, it's unforgiving. You're going to say, you're going to see what you're going to see, you're going to hear what you're going to hear, especially celebrities. You're going to get a double dose, a triple dose, because people are living vicariously through your lives. And when it comes to vicariously living through other people's pain, they eat it like syrup, they treat it like honey, they eat it like cake, okay? Everyone loves pain way more than pleasure, and especially if you're living through the lives of other people, it's really not affecting you firsthand, it's affecting you subjectively. Objectively, it's going to hurt the person that they want to see the drama commence through. Mind you see what I'm saying? Not okay. I'm not a fan of fans acting like fans. No, I'm more of a fan of fans acting like partners, associates, and agreements, so that they too can get the pleasures of success, even if it's but a little bit of motivation. All right, I think that this is whack. I don't think that Offset should be getting riled up. I don't think that he should be insecure. He's perfectly married, been married for almost 10 plus years now to Cardi. You know what I mean? I think that he should just kick back, you know what I mean, and relax. You know, he got this kids, beautiful family, and his life is truly just beginning, yo. There's still more potential to be had, so by all means, knock it off. All right, we don't need any more, you know, black couples, black married couples breaking up because other people want to see it happen, because other people think it should happen. That's not the move to make. All right, so we're moving on. All right, y'all. So my last little topic that I want to touch base, just like I touched base in the beginning. Again, I want everyone to think about, you know, what's going on, the state of the world, state of the union, the shifts of the polar caps, if you will. And I don't mean literally as well that it is happening literally, but I do mean figuratively as well, in the heart and in the mind. You see what I'm saying? Let's get this together, people. Let's get this together. No more should we be waiting for anybody to give us any handouts. No more should we be waiting for anybody to tell us how to go about doing something, or to give the blueprint, the pink print, the pink tape. None of that. Shout out to all of those albums. All I'm saying is we need to create our own pink blueprint. We need to create our own tape. All right. We need to draw our own chalk outline of the bodies that we laid down. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about the bodies that we laid down, the bodies of work, whether it's a thesis of investment or a thesis of business management. All right, we need to get it together, come up with a plan and execute. And I mean in the best way possible. Bring the generation up below us to the forefront, and let everyone and let the other generation know ahead of us to where they should invest their money. Right? Because mind you, the generations ahead of us are much older, okay? And mind you, some of them are retired, most of them are retired, and they're looking for those kinds of investments. All we got to do is just give them a plan and an avenue, a road, and it's game time. You understand what I'm saying? For the generations below us, we need to pull them straight up into the positions of leadership, community councils, all right? Community groups. All right, even if it's but 2 or 3 or 4 people. You already know that saying, when there's 3 people, where God comes from, right? Come on now, let's get it together. All right, it's Moon Man on the mic, Saturday special edition, and I will see y'all next Friday.